John, I believe we talked a little bit about what you like about the SSA, what you think, but like when you first joined, what did you think the group was? Did you grow up as an atheist? Was this weird to you, or?
So I grew up in, not the most religious family. My mother was Roman Catholic, raised, still technically probably is Roman Catholic. My father raised some kind of maybe Methodist, I'm not exactly certain. But I do remember us going to like church and stuff as a child, and I can remember like refusing to go to church at one point and making my mom like very upset because Roman Catholic, very strict religious, you can't not go to church, especially on Easter.
Sure.
Oh, God, no.
So what's that relationship like with your family right now?
Oh, it's perfectly fine.
Right.
My father's, he was never really like, we're a Methodist, so we believe every word of that and whatnot. It's more of like a deism sort of thing going on right now.
Yeah. And like, I think another reason why I like SSA is because when you're in college and you don't really have the resources like I do at my age now, where you're as financially independent, where you're able to kind of make all those kinds of decisions for yourself. Some people are relying on their parents and extended family for a lot of reasons, and when you have that conflict in identity, that can cause problems for where you want to go with your life, right? And so I like the idea that you have a space where you can express that identity safely and just be who you are, because like they aren't going to change you probably, right? Like, you could go back to Jesus. I don't know, like it's happened before, but like for most of us, it doesn't.
Right.
For most of us, this is who we are for the rest of our lives, and we have to figure out what to do with that. So John, what are you doing with that now that you are a secular person, you've confidently been living as one for a little while now?
So that's never really been a problem with like cutting ties and stuff with the family or anything that a lot of people usually have to do, because it was never really like, we were never entrenched in religion growing up and whatnot. It was just sort of like a thing that was on the side.
Sure.
But I definitely have had friends who, one specifically who was Mormon, who growing up, his parents basically gave all of the children an ultimatum where if they continued to be Mormon and went and did their mission trip, then they would get their university paid for. And a couple of them did it and got it. One of them now knows, whatever they speak in Tuvalu, Tagalog, which is cool and all, but I don't want to go spend 2 years on a Mormon mission trip.
Yeah, that's a big commitment.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're not like in the mindset of this is real.
This is real. This is all, I want to do this. There's a reason I'm doing this.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm glad that you're here with the SSA tonight. We're happy to express some of those voices. Again, we have open lines, folks. We definitely want to talk to you guys at home to call in. But hey, we also have an audience here that wants to talk to us, and Johnny's going to give us another question from the audience. What do we got?
How you doing? My name is Paul. I really just wanted to relieve Johnny. I don't have a question. I'm just joking. I do. No, so I date a believer.
Yeah.
And the thing that works for us is our relationship is not defined by the belief. We have so many other things in common. She understands where I am, and what my requirements are. I understand where she is, so it works.
Yeah.
So I did have a question about the SSA. Do you have to be a student in order to be a part? I'm new to the area, and I wouldn't mind helping with some of the things you guys got going on.
John?
So I believe that there are things that community members can help out with. I'm not exactly certain if they can be like proper members, but meetings are open to anyone. If you want to come to a meeting, the campus is freely open to the public.
So I know for a fact as well that the SSA often has volunteers that are often not students to help out with organizational activities and stuff. And so tonight you're in a great place, Paul, because Clara, who is the president of the SSA here at UTSA, can definitely talk to you about how you can help further. And I challenge all of you who are watching this at home, if this sounds like an organization you'd be interested in helping out, please look up your local SSA, see what's around you. They often work in college groups, but also high school groups as well. See what kind of resources you can be to those communities, because I would say it's easier now as a young person to kind of come out with these things, but it's not easy for everybody, and every situation is going to vary. So like I said, I'm really happy that you guys exist and can do stuff for us. So Johnny's got somebody else, I think that he's pulling from the audience. Yeah, you can also, I've got my producer in my ear, just reminded me, you can also join the atheist community of Austin, too. We're pretty cool. If you're over in the Austin area, you can definitely help us out. But a lot of our volunteers are online. If you'd like to help out in making shows like this happen, we would definitely enjoy the help. So we have another question from the audience.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's AZ.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. My question is more so, I'm obviously you can hear more atheistic, but one of the questions that I have is looking at one of the benefits that a lot of Christian or whatever religious organization have is the level of community.
Yeah.
I know growing up Muslim and even still going to church once in a while, the level of community is really, really great. You have various different programs to help out with the community, whether it be like, people underprivileged or whether it just be meet friends through some kind of youth group or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, being more atheistic, these communities aren't as available.
Yeah.
I know in a couple places they are, like in Austin, but I think this is like one of the biggest things that's missing from atheism is that sense of community, that sense of like kind of congealing us all together.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I talked about this earlier, but one of the biggest struggles I had when I deconstructed my faith was that feeling of aloneness. And I think that feeling often stops a lot of people from leaving their church communities. I've talked to a lot of people who are physically in but mentally out, right? You may have heard this POMA, right? Or POMO, but physically in. PMO? There's an acronym in there somewhere. I can't think of it right now, but it's in there. And that was me for a long time. I can't tell you how long, but long enough to where I had all these friends, and they were all Christians, and all of my activities outside of work and school were hanging out with these Christians doing Christian stuff. So what do you do outside of that? I mean, when that's your whole life and that's what you've oriented your whole life to be, it's hard to kind of start over and figure out what it means to live as a secular person. Obviously, some people don't need these kinds of communities. They just move on with their lives just fine. But for a lot of us who have had to deconstruct our whole lives up to that point of what it means to even live, what it means to have a purpose in life, that's a big deal. And talking about it with other people is definitely a good thing. And I agree with you too. Christians in this country, they have way more resources than any other religious group in this country. I mean, when I was a part of the organization here, I got to go to conferences. There were these big presentations. There were these mission trips that I got to go on, which is a whole other tangent that I don't want to rant about, but I might if I have to. Thinking that these people, atheists, are not worthy of having a group is selfish, honestly. It's really selfish. I really don't like this idea that, what's the point of these people? They just want to, go join a church of their own. It's more than that. It's having a sense of community. It's having a sense of life orientation that you can share with other people. Everybody has that in some form. It doesn't have to be a religious organization to keep that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm sure we both agree then that that level of community is good.
Yeah.
I guess the question then is, obviously you're not going to have a perfect answer to this.
Yeah.
How can we start facilitating some of that within our own communities? Obviously, we have this org right here.
Yeah.
But once you get out of college, it's obviously going to be a little bit harder to find these groups. Some people may say just, find some other hobby, learn how to dance, go to comedy clubs, something else, some kind of actual other hobby that you can meet people in. But, for a lot of people, something like atheism is a very defining thing or, philosophy or however you want to put it.
Yeah.
How do you think maybe beyond college and, adult life, you could find some of these communities or start building them yourself?
I mean, there are churches you can go to in this country that are hundreds of years old, right? These things have existed for a while. Pretty much any atheist group that you go to probably hasn't been around more than 10, 5, 15, 20 years, right? Most of them are pretty short-lived. So we have to do it ourselves. That's just the way it is. Grassroots organizations are one way to do it. Online communities have been very successful and a big reason as to why the atheist movement has grown the way it has. I'm sure all of you know this because you found this show online. I've never met you guys before, and somehow you found me. So that's pretty cool. I really appreciate that. But yeah, that kind of stuff is super important. Whether you can't find a group in your area, you start your own, or you help support other organizations that are closest to you when you can, because sense of community is super, super important. Absolutely. So I think we're going to be able to get to another caller here. So, we can take one more audience question here. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Donovan. I work with the Socialist Rifle Association, a couple anarchist organizations here in San Antonio.
Awesome.
Really simple question. I know y'all do tabling here. My roommate told me about y'all. I don't go. But I was wondering if you do any organizational stuff like protesting outside of campus or any like more organized activity.
So I think that most of the like protest-related activity that we do is like mostly on campus, but we are definitely open to. We've done in the past, at least with like the YDSA, we've done some activities that are extracurricular and that they happen off campus. But we, I think, predominantly do most of our work on campus for just the ease of access, I think.
There you go.
Okay, fair enough.
Cool.